Okay, so our next topic is going to be on area. So today we're going to do triangles, rectangles, and squares because those are all pretty easy. We learned those in middle school. So this should be quick and easy. So here's our triangle area formula. We're doing 1/2 times b times h. We know that the b, that stands for the base of the triangle, and we know that h stands for the height of the triangle. And we know that in that triangle, the base and the height have to be perpendicular. So we're going to draw a little picture of a triangle to see what we're talking about. So we're right here. Okay, so here's our triangle, 3 sides. So if this is the base down here, then that means the height needs to be perpendicular. So that means it has to make the little box, the 90 degrees in the corner have to be perpendicular to each other. Like it's not going to be the slanted side with the bottom. They're not perpendicular, okay? So in number one is pretty easy for us. They said find the area of the triangle with a base of 8 and height of 6. Basic, easy. So, we're finding the area, so we're going to use the formula. A equals 1/2 BH. And they told me exactly what's the B, what's the H. They told me B was 8 and H is 6, so we just got to plug it in. So 1/2 times B is 8 times 6. And we're going to type this in Desmos. So let's type 1/2 times 8 times 6 is 24. And that's our answer. That's our area. Final answer. Easy. We should be like rolling through this unit. 100s. Example 2. So in example 2, they're saying if the area is 96 and the height is 12, what is the base? So this time they're giving me the area and we're going to have to work backwards. Oh no. So I'm still going to write my area formula. Now this time they're telling me the area is 96 and the height is 12. So we're going to make sure we put them in the equation where they belong. So instead of A, I'm going to put 96. I'm going to put that over here. What? That's a 2. Okay. Times, do I know what B is? No, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So that's going to stay a B. But I do know H is supposed to be 12. So now I have to solve this equation for B. So the first thing I'm going to do is, well, on this right side of the equation, I can multiply the 1/2 and the 12. Let's multiply those together. So 1/2 times 12 is 6. So what are we doing? 6. So I'm going to put 6, and then I'm going to bring down that B, and I'm going to bring down the 96. And then to solve this, we know, to get B alone, I just have to divide by 6. Goodbye, 6. We're left with B. 96 divided by 6. We type 96 divided by 6. Enter. Is 16. So that means my base, what I just solved for, is 16. Final answer. Okay? So anytime we're talking about area of a triangle, this is the formula we're using. Make sure you put the numbers in for the correct letter. Okay, for rectangles and squares, you've probably been doing this even longer than middle school, but to find the area of a rectangle times a square, we're using the formula A equals BH. We know, again, the base is B and the height is H. You might have done A equals length times width. That's the same thing as base and height. There is no difference. And again, base and height are going to be perpendicular because rectangles and squares, they have 90-degree corners. So yeah, they're going to be perpendicular. So in number 3, it says if the length of the rectangle is 4 and the width is 6, what is the area? So it said we're talking about area of a rectangle. So we're writing our formula A equals BH. We're making sure we're picking the right formula. If you pick the wrong formula for this shape, you're going to get it wrong. Now they said length and width. That is the same thing as height and base. So it doesn't matter which one you say is the height or the base. So we're going to say the height is 4, the base is 6. Sure, doesn't matter. So we're going to plug this in for H and B. So where B was 6, H was 4. We're going to type that in Desmos. 6 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. Okay, so final answer is the area of that rectangle is 24. Yay. The next one, they are giving me the area this time. They say the area of the rectangle is 56. The base is 7. What is the height? So area of a rectangle, I'm going to use the formula again. A equals BH. This time they told me the area. So that means I know A is 56. And they told me base is 7. I'm going to put these where they go in the equation. So the 56 is going for A. So 56. And they told me B was 7. And they want to know what's the height. So I'm going to leave that H. So to solve that, I do not have numbers to combine on the right side like I did in the triangle one. In this one, we said, oh, because I had the 1/2 and the 12 were on the same side, so I multiplied those first. But this time I only have the 7 over there, so I only need to get 7 to go away. How do I do that? I divide by 7. And I get H equals, I don't know, what's 56 divided by 7? Is 8. So I know the height of that rectangle is 8. Final answer. Okay? So this is going to be how the first couple questions are in the formative. But at the end, they're going to start talking about composite area. Now, composite area just means that you have a weird looking shape, a shape we don't have a name for, because it's like a mashup of other shapes. So how do you find the area when it looks crazy like this? Well, you're going to break it up into shapes we know. So that means you're breaking it up into triangles and rectangles. Do not break it up into other crazy shapes because you won't know how to find the area of that either. So I'm trying to find the area of this. So if I'm thinking, where can I break this up? So it looks to me like breaking it up into 2 rectangles. Pretend that's a straight line, straight across, okay? So then I have this one up here. Let's highlight. We have this one up here, and then we have another rectangle down here. Okay, great. So we're going to find the area of those separately, and then we just add it together. Okay. So up here, this is a rectangle. So I know rectangle, we should be using A equals BH. What's the B and H on this rectangle up here? Well, that's going to be the 2 sides, 24 and 18. So we're going to say this is B, this is H. Let's plug it in. 24 times 18. Type it in Desmos. What do we get? 24 times 18 is 432. And you may be thinking to yourself, Miss, that's a really big number. That's okay. I don't care what it says. It could be right. Why not? Okay. The one on the bottom, this is also a rectangle. So we're also going to use A equals BH on this one. Okay. Now in this one, this is a little bit more complicated. Now I know that I'm going to use the 2 sides of the rectangle. I know that this side is 30. Let's use that for base. But for our height, for this length right there, I don't know what that is. I know the 27 is for all the way on the pink and the blue. But I don't want the pink and the blue. I just want the blue. So what do? Well, I know in the pink one up here, I know that this part is 18 because it says 18 here. I can write that over there, 18. If this part is 18, and the whole thing is 27, how do I get the part on the bottom? You're just going to subtract 27 minus 18. Oh, we can type that in Desmos. 27 minus 18. I don't know what that is. 27 minus 18 is 9. So that tells me that the part we really want, our height, is 9. Because we had to subtract to figure that out. So now I can plug in 9 for H, 30 for base. So 30 times 9 equals, we're typing that in. 30 times 9 is 270. 270. Okay? So now I have my two areas. Now all I got to do is add them together. 432 plus 270. We type it in Desmos. 432 plus 270 is 702. That is final answer. Our two shapes combined is 702. Okay? One more little tiny example. So in this one, they were nice. They already broke it up for you. So in this shape, I see I have a triangle and a rectangle and another triangle. So I'm going to make sure that I'm using the right formulas. So for the triangle, I should be using A equals 1/2 BH. I'm going to write that in both the triangles. In the rectangle / square in the middle, I know that's A equals BH. That's the equation. Again, you got to use the right equation or you're going to get it wrong. So on our rectangle, what are the B and H on the rectangle? Well, this side's 5, so that's B. And this side's 5. That's going to be my H. So we're going to type that in, 5 times 5. You can type it in Desmos. I know that 5 times 5 is 25. So that's for this little rectangle in there. For my triangles, now these triangles are equal to each other. So if I find the area of one of them, I know that's the area on the other one because they have the little tick marks on there. So what are we going to do? Well, I know that in the triangle, that this 5 is the base of the triangle. I know that for sure. But the height of this triangle is going down the middle like this. That's the height. We don't know what that is. I do know that from this end of the triangle, because that's what this number at the bottom is, this end all the way across to this end is 17. Now I know that this section in the middle, we know is 5. So let's subtract that to see what we have left. 17 minus 5. If you don't know, you would type that in Desmos. But I know 17 minus 5 is 12. So that leaves 12 for this section and this section together is 12. So if there's two sections left and they are equal sections, we're going to do 12 divided by 2 to get how much is each one. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So I know that means that right here is 6. Right here is 6. That means 6 is my height of my triangle. So we're ready to plug in. I have my base and height of the triangle, so let's find that area. So 1/2 base we said was 5 times height we just found out was 6. We type all of that into Desmos. 1/2 times 5 times 6 is 15. So I know that means this triangle right here is 15 area. And this triangle over here is also 15 because they have the same measurements. Okay, so now I have to add all my numbers together. I got my 15, my 25, and my other 15. Let's type that in Desmos, get a final answer. 15 plus 25 plus 15 is 55. Final answer, 55. Wow, that was a big circle. Okay. The key point, make sure you're breaking it up into rectangles and triangles. Do not break it up into other weird looking shapes. Use the correct formulas. At this point, you can go ahead and get started on the formative.